We're counting down the hits this week with Dierks Bentley. John Rich is a pretty good buddy of yours.
Yeah.
Did you talk to him during the Celebrity Apprentice time? And wasn't that amazing to watch him on that?
It was great, man. I've known John Rich since 1998 or something. We both used to ride over at Sony Tree, and we'd pass each other in the halls over there, and he'd be like, "Hey, man, I'm doing this thing called Music Mafia. It's on Tuesday night. You got to come down and be part of it." And I was like, "Man, Tuesday nights." That's the night I go down to the station inn and listen to this great bluegrass music. You got to come do that, And so we never did hook up on that whole thing. But I've always really had a lot of respect for John. I think John, some people have different, perspectives on who they think he is. His public, persona. But as a person, I've always known him for a long time, and know he's just a great guy. He really does care, and he puts 100% into whatever he does. And I was excited for him to be on The Apprentice, for people to see that whole range of who he is, and and he just, I think he made a lot of new fans, and he killed it on the show, and no one was pulling for him more than I was, and just really happy to see how it turned out for him.
Has he talked to you about maybe throwing your hat in that ring?
He did. He was encouraging me to check it out, and I actually did get an official offer to be on the show, and I turned it down, but I was flattered.
Oh, so you did get an offer?
I did, yeah, I did.
And you turned it down? Why?
I love playing music, man. That's just you gotta know who you are. And I really am a simple man. I know it's like it doesn't. I'm not trying to I love writing records. I love making records. I love more than anything else being on a tour bus and then hitting the stage and just getting that reaction from the fan and trying to take it every night to a new level of craziness, and then getting back on the bus. That's just what you got to know your not only your limitations, but just what makes you happy. Does it make you happy creatively?
Yeah.
Does it make sense for your family, what you want to do? And it's just who I am. It's really flattering to be offered to do it. It really is. You got to know what makes you happy. And for me, live shows, hanging out with my fans, that's what does it for me, and I'm happy with that.
After watching both Trace Adkins and John Rich on there, any concern about how nuts all those other people are?
Well, they are. I think John. What's so cool about John and Trace too. And I think a cool thing. One of the coolest moments of the show is when Donald Trump had said something about how he really made Trace Adkins, and John Rich was like, "Excuse me, Mr. Trump. Excuse me." He has sold millions of records before he got on this,
Right.
on your show. No offense, but he's a kind of a big deal in our world, and a lot of people don't know about our world, which is the country world. It's but Trace Adkins is a big deal.
Trace says that Donald Trump still takes credit for making "You're Gonna Miss This" #1.
Well, and I got a lot of respect for Donald Trump too, and everyone. But it's like our world's different, man. The country world, you get it or you don't. And I think what's great about John is he really kind of open. You see him on there with a cowboy hat. You think a lot of people would think whatever, this guy with the cowboy hat. Turns out he's one of the smartest guys on that show, and probably one of the smartest guys around. So I think he did a lot.
They both showed that. I think he and Trace both showed how creative.
Yep.
And it was always funny to me when chaos would break out and Donald Trump would turn to John Rich. I mean, you just don't think of John as the voice of reason.
He really is, though. I know. He can. When it's time to lay the hammer down, he can. I've been around him many times on some Lower Broadway honky tonk nights when he's not the voice of reason, but he really can be, and he's. I think what's cool is he used all his resources that he's built up over the years of radio and connections and fans and goodwill and funneled into a great cause of St. Jude, raising money for the Children's Hospital there.
Yeah.
But a great deal. We were just texting last night. He was seeing if I was in town. We were going to go out and do something, but I was surprised. I was on the road.